Hello and welcome to another of my Umbraco tutorials. I've tried to mess with my sound settings a bit to see if maybe I could get the microphone to be just a little bit better. I don't know if it worked, I hope it has, but we'll see. I'll let everyone in the comments decide on that. Anyway, to continue where we left off, actually I think I need to reload. There we go. Okay. I don't know why, but last time when I just tried to open this up earlier, this was completely broken. The CSS files were missing and everything. So I just quickly uninstalled the what's called starter kit by just going to here and just reload the whole thing here. Why won't it do that? Where are they? Let me just reload a minute. Packages. Oh, there we go. Install packages, and of course we have the TXT starter package. So I just uninstalled that and then installed it again, and now it works fine. Anyway, we got to here last time with our example, and now we're going to create the tree amongst other things, and also the table where our information is going to live. So let's get started. Just open up the tutorial. Here we go. So this is the person API controller that we worked on last time. Hopefully it'll work, but we won't know yet until we've actually tested it out. So the next thing I'm gonna want to do is again, I don't know if these naming conventions, so to speak, are correct, but that's how I think they make sense. So we're gonna add a new folder. We're gonna call this events. And by the way, you don't have to put these things in folders. For example, the object could still be a CS file to go with the event and the application, just outside in the example, but I like to have a bit of structure. So anyway, here we're going to create or add a class. I'm going to call this register events. There we go. And let me just find my own. Okay, right. So first what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to inherit from the application event handler. So let's just add the Umbraco core namespace, and as you can see, yeah, that's just that. But now we have this. Then we're going to want to do a protected, and we're going to want to override, and then just return void. I'm going to want the application started function. So just press that and it will generate a new one for us, and we can just delete this. Right, so in here we want to create a variable called db, and we're going to want to set it equal to the application context, and then we want the database context, and then the database. Right, now we have the database, so we don't have to write this all the time. Like I talked about my earlier video, I think, actually, where I said I didn't want to write this all the time. Well, this is how you do it if you were in doubt. So I said, well, if not db.table exist, db.table exist, and it's going to come up now and say, oh, there's something wrong here. I believe. Okay, well, in a minute. So let's just open close, and then we're going to call it the people table. So if that does not exist, then db.create table. So we're going to want person, and then set it to false. Right, and there are some things we want to implement here. Don't know why, but my Visual Studio is a bit slow today. First thing we want to get is our person object, which is in here, and then the next thing we want to get is an error. So let's try and build it. There we go. Now there's an error. Just going to say here that Umbraco database does not contain definite definition for table exist. So yeah, we need to add a reference, and I don't know why it doesn't come up, but we're going to grab hold of that. So that's going to be in these two. I'm going to paste in here the core persistence and core persistence database annotations. So if we build now, there won't be a problem. It does say something about the something is obsolete, but yeah, I wouldn't pay no attention to that. Yeah, okay, right, so what it is saying really here is this is the application event handler, which would just register each time an event handles. That's why I called it register events. And then we're just gonna do a what's called. Then this will run each time the application is started. So each time we start up this application, you know, like when we restart it by going into the you know, adding a DLL file or something like that. Then we're restarting the application. Anyway, that is done. So let's just build. Refresh a minute, and boom, here's our person table. We can open it, and we'll see we have the ID, we have a first name and a last name, and we put that there in the person object. So because we defined our person class here, it just takes this and boom, and makes it into what we need. So that's perfect. Right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to create our tree, and this is what a lot of people probably have had some problems with, just like I had, but I finally figured it out. It took me some time, I will admit. So let's add that. So we're going to add a class, and we're going to call, oh sorry, I keep forgetting this. Okay, you can do that, but I find as long as you've just add a controller, press enter, and there's the person tree controller. We'll add that, and just get rid of this. There we go. So if we just try and build that now, there won't be a problem, but first we change this to a tree controller. We need to add in the web trees. So build that now, we should get 2 errors. Yeah, it is not implementing the inherited abstract tree controller, get tree nodes and get menu for node. So we need to implement those 2. So yeah, the way we do this is by writing. Actually, before we do that, we need to reference a couple of things here. We need to add some what's it called, attributes. Let's just get this straight. Oh, for goodness sake! Come on. There we go. Okay. So the first thing we want to define is a tree. Boom. We'll open up. And then the string app alias, and our alias is our example, so that's fine. The next will be the string alias, which is this person tree. There we go. The next will be the title, and we'll call it person. There we go. Yeah, that is fine. Then the next we want to define is a plugin controller. Just add the WebMVC reference to that, and the string area name will be example. There we go. Just build that. Okay, let's put this in. So we need a protected method, and we need one to override. So we're overriding what already is in the in Umbraco. And so we'll get a load of things to be able to override right now, but what we want to override is the tree node collection. No, sorry, not the tree node collection, the, let me see. Yeah, sorry, the tree node collection. Tree node collection. We add the web models trees. We'll say get tree nodes, and it'll come up and tell us this is what you need. We'll gladly put that in. I will just put this throw new not implemented exception to start with. That is fine. The next one, protected override, and this time we will need menu item collection, and then we want to do the get menu tree for nodes. And if you're wondering how the hell do you find out all this, it tells you right here. You need to implement the what's it called? Yeah, get menu for node, and it's a does it say menu? No, okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm done now. Actually, let's just try that. We'll get menu for node. What would happen then? Okay, nothing. I was just curious. Oh wait, that's because if it's in the Umbraco dot web dot trees dot tree. Wait, our tree controller base and then dot. So if we did that and then get menu for nodes, or for node would be equal to new, and then tree controller base, I think it is. Then get menu for node. Okay, no, you can't do it this way. No mind, just thinking something. Anyway, protect. Oh, I've already got the code. Okay, and then we want the get. Oh, we can actually just. Why isn't that showing up? So it's a menu item collection. Ah, okay. So when you've added this anyway, then you can just pop this in, boom, and we're done. So that's fine. Let's save it and go back into our application. So let's reload this. Just close that, and boom, suddenly you see here we have our tree. There's nothing in it, and of course there's an exception that's been thrown at us, but it's here. We can search, but there's not really much to search for, but it's here. So now we're beginning to look like something. It's beginning to look good. Anyway, firstly we'll delete this, and then we're going to add a couple of things. So firstly, we're going to say if the ID that's being supplied over here is equal to, and then we're going to say constants. Let me see. Yeah, constants dot system. Oh, I've referenced the wrong one there. Constants. Pretty sure it's the Umbraco core. Constants dot system. There we go. Dot root. And then to invariant string. Like this. Then we're going to do two variables. One is going to be controller, or just CTRL, and that's going to be equal to a new person API controller, which is our own one. There we go. And another one, which is going to be nodes, which is going to be equal to our new tree node collection. There we go. So if we just have this, nothing else but this, oh yeah, and it does not return, so let's return, we're just going to return the nodes. What this does, this tree node collection, what is wrong now? Oh, sorry, that's because we're inside the if statement. There we go. What have I done wrong? Oh, yeah, of course. So, only if this is true, but if it's not true, then we're going to want to throw new not supported exception. There we go, because only if it's true do we want to return the nodes, but since we can't have, several return statements inside something like this, we just throw a not exception. So there we go. And now we can open up and reload, and we will get person. So we have some of the standard Umbraco functions, I believe. Nope, not yet. But we have that, and well, we can't do anything more about that right now, but that's fine for now. Anyway, moving on. So for each, and then we're going to create a variable called person, and that's going to be inside the CTRL, which is our person API controller, and we're going to get all, and that's it. Boom, get all. Open up and say var node is equal to create tree node from the tree controller base. and then we're going to add some things. So string ID is going to be our person.id.toString. There we go. And remember, what is happening here, I'm pretty sure... No, yeah, never mind. Yep, so that's fine. Comma, and then the next one is going to be the parent ID, and that's always going to be -1 in this case, because that is a special one. Okay, and then a comma, and then we're going to want a form data collection in the form of a query string, and we already have that. That's defined up in here. So query strings, there we go. And then another one we want is the string title, and for that we want the person dot, and see here we have the first name, last name, but then we have our dot to string method here, which is our own. And what that does, if you remember, is it takes the first name and the second name, makes a space between them, and shows the what would subsequently be the full name. That is perfect. And I forgot to add my semicolon. There we go. And then lastly, we want to do nodes dot add. And what do we want to add? We want to add the node. Perfect. Just build that. That's fine. So if we go back and reload, failed to retrieve data for nodes menu -1. Yeah. We haven't implemented that, but we'll be getting to that in a minute. Or actually, we'll get into that now. So now we've done this. Now the next thing we want to do is the actions. So what we're going to do is we're going to go var menu is equal to a new menu item collection. There we go. And we're going to do the same and say if id.constants id is equal to constants.system.root.to invariant string. It remembered. So if this is true, then we want to say menu.items.add, and then we want to do something a bit special. Well, I did the wrong one. So like this, and then we want to create child entity action new, should just be like this. We're missing something. Business logic. There we go. So add that, and then we're going to open string name, and that's going to be UI dot. What am I missing there? Using Umbraco. Okay, sorry. UI dot text, and then the string key will be actions. And then after that, action new dot instance dot alias. Okay, and then menu dot items dot add, and then we're going to add the and this is the create a child. What we just did now was the create child node action. So that means when we press on the person, then we can create the action. You know, create new something, and then it'll put it underneath, like you've done a million times probably. Next one we'll do is the refresh node. So refresh node, comma, action, refresh, and there's just a minute, action. Oh come on, action, refresh, republish, restore, results. So there's all loads of actions here. So we want that. Close it and open close, and then in here we want again the UI.text, and for the text we want the actions, and then we want the action refresh dot instance dot alias, and then true. Go. Then we want to return menu. Right, and then else for this we want to say menu item add, and then we want to add the delete. So that'll be action delete, and then we want to pass in the UI.text, actions, action delete. You can probably see where this is going. Alias, and then lastly, after that, we want to return our menu. So if we build that, that's something wrong apparently. What did I do wrong? Just see a minute. That looks as it's supposed to, I think. Oh, actions. Don't know if that might be the problem. Oh. Action. Okay, let me just see. Menu item, add, refresh node, action, refresh. UI.text, actions, action, refresh, instance, alias. Ah, okay, I see. This needs to be closed. There we go, and then this one. So if we now take a look, has separator is true for this. Normally it's set to false. So there we go, now it works. So we just go back to here, reload the page, and we can now right click and we have our create and reload nodes. And we are reloading, but there's just nothing to know. Funny thing is though, if we press create, it's going to come up and say, oh, something wrong. I'm looking for something here in the back office person tree called edit.html. But we haven't applied that yet, so that is going to be our next job, and I'm going to do that in the next video. So thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something, and while I still have you watching, hopefully, yeah, please, if you have any other good ideas for tutorials, stuff like that, please tell me, give me feedback, stuff like that. That would be absolutely great. Okay, thanks everyone, and take care.